Today's a very interesting portion that we're going to be learning.
Okay.
It's a lot of story time, shall we say?
Okay.
It'll bring up some interesting conversations. And just a moment, we will begin. Let's start with the blessing. Baruch
Baruch
Adonai
atah Adonai Eloheinu
Eloheinu melech haolam
ba'olam
asher kiddushanu
v'kiddushanu
b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu al
al
divrei Torah.
Torah.
Okay, you're able to see my screen?
Not yet. Oh, okay. There we go.
Wonderful. Okay, let me just make sure this wasn't one of our participants trying to log in. Wonderful. Okay. So, you know what, let's start with the question. And this is something that we've probably barely touched upon a number of times. And that would be, to what degree do we have free choice? Probably one of the most fundamental questions that we have as in philosophy.
Absolutely.
And as usual, Judaism doesn't follow any of the traditional approaches, but a little bit of everything. So, based on your understanding, what is the Jewish take on free will?
Well, there is free will. Choose. Um, I don't know. Beyond that, I don't know.
Got it. So, yeah, we do have free choice, but we're going to see some interesting things because God wants the world to go in a certain trajectory. And I strongly encourage you, I don't remember if you were there for this, I don't think so. In This Can Happen, the JLI course, I believe it was lesson 4, I want to say, where we discussed some of the major events that happened throughout Jewish history. There's a verse in Psalms that says that God has made a big trap on people, meaning that sometimes, oh, it seems Chaim is joining, but it's taking him time to join. I'm not sure why it didn't come through. Oh, there he is. Morning, Chaim. I hope you can hear us. So God has a certain trajectory where he wants the world to go. And there are some times that he causes things to happen. But not that he takes away free choice, rather that he puts certain things into play that you will be very, very likely to choose the wrong choice. And we're going to get to some of those examples today. We're going to talk primarily about the golden calf. Good morning, Bela Esther.
Good morning.
Morning.
The sages of the school of Rabbi Yanai say proof that Moses spoke impertinently toward God on high is derived from here. Moses' rebuke at the beginning of Deuteronomy, he said, and di zahav. That is an entry of a list of places where Moses has spoken to Israel. And being that there is no place encountered by that name, this must be an allusion to another matter. So the question is, what does di zahav mean? The sages of the school of Rabbi Yanai said that Moses said the following before the Holy One, blessed be he. to atone. You need the bathroom? Can you ask mommy if she can come with you? Okay. And if not, then I will come. You got it? Okay. Tell mommy that I'm teaching the Gemara and ask her if she can come with you. Okay? So the Moses, Moshe Rabbeinu said to God to atone for Israel after the sin of the golden calf, Master of the universe, because of the gold and silver that you have lavished upon Israel during the exodus from Egypt until they said enough. Di Zahav could also be Di Zahav, which means the Jewish people said, we have already enough gold. You only say that there's that much gold if you have really a lot. And it was this wealth that caused Israel to sin and make the golden calf. Yeah, I'm doing a class. Can you ask mom if she's available? She's not available? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to take Hannah to the bathroom, and I will be right back. Oh, Chaim, your video. Wonderful.
Yeah, you got it working.
Okay, I'll be right back. I apologize.
Hello.
Hi.
Got it working.
Yeah, sort of.
It's working.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you. Can see you.
I don't know. I only see the top of my forehead.
Well, you got to move the camera, which is on the computer. There's a little at the top of the screen on the frame. There's a little hole. That's the camera.
Yeah, I see a little white light.
Yeah, next to the white light is the camera. You'll see a hole. So yeah, I'm moving to my laptop. It's on my laptop. It's at the frame of the top of the screen. So see.
There we go.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I did. So Hannah is learning toilet training. So she's home from school today. She wants to say hello to everyone, and she wants to show everyone her bracelets that she made.
Hi.
Hannah made these bracelets. Are they so pretty?
Thank you. Very pretty.
Oh, mommy made these bracelets for you. Are they pretty? Okay. So Moses said to God that the reason why the Jewish people sinned with the golden calf, it's your fault. It's not theirs. You gave them all this gold and silver. What are you going to do? Establishing a general moral principle. We're not going to press it now. The sages of the school of Rabbi Yanai said, a lion does not roar while it stands over a basket of straw, from which he derives no pleasure. Rather, he roars standing over a basket of meat. A lion only roars when it's satiated. So apparently, I'll leave this to the zoologists, but apparently, if you hear a lion roaring, you shouldn't be worried. Because lions don't roar when they're hungry. They roar when they're full. Similarly, yeah, there's a garbage. Yeah. Rabbi Oshaya said, this is comparable. In the kitchen. You're in the kitchen. Rabbi Oshaya said, you can come back. This is comparable to a person who had a lean but large-limbed cow. At one point, he started feeding it lupines, a choice food, some kind of a bean. And soon thereafter, the cow started kicking him. He said to the cow, who caused you to start kicking me if not the lupines I fed you? Here too, the sin was caused by the abundance of good. The Gemara offers another analogy. Rabbi Chia bar Abba said, in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, this is comparable to a person who had a son. He bathed him, anointed him with oil, fed him and gave him drink, and hung a purse of money around his neck, and then brought his son to the entrance of a brothel. What could the son do to avoid sinning? So we see from here that for whatever reason, God decided that he needed the sin of the golden calf to happen, which that is discussed at length in other places, but in short, the reason is because the purpose of creation is in order that there should be human beings who live in a place where godliness is not readily available, and through the work of the human, through the effort of the human, to cause this place to become a space in which godliness is revealed and God's presence is obvious to all. And that's our job. So if not for the golden calf, it would have all been done by God. God took the Jewish people out of Egypt. And had they gone from there straight to Mashiach, they never would have, it wouldn't have been their own work. Only after sinning. Yeah, you want to show it again? Only after the sin of the golden calf, when the Jewish people started working on their own, was it possible for God's mission to be fulfilled. That's it in 30 seconds. For a full hour and a half on it, check out, let me see if I have the link right here, and then I'll tell you exactly which class it is. Can you still see my screen?
Yeah. Oh.
La Let me see if this is the right. No. Okay, I'm gonna have to get the link. I'm gonna have to get the link for you, but I will try to send that out later. But what we have to know for us and for ourselves is that every moment we have a decision whether, yes, you can. We have a decision whether we want to be part of that or not. In other words, the sin of the golden calf had to happen, but every person who got involved with the sin of the golden calf didn't have to be the one to do it. And we see that there were thousands of people who did not get involved with the sin of the golden calf. We find a similar question when it comes to Egypt, right? We're coming now from Passover. And God punished the Egyptians. Why did God punish the Egyptians? Anyone?
Because they kept people in slavery.
Because of what they did to the Jewish people. Now, I have a question for you. God says to Abraham, hundreds of years before the whole slavery situation, God says to Abraham, you shall know that your children will be slaves to a foreign country and a foreign land. Yeah, you want to play with it? And they will enslave them, and they will torture them. So did the Egyptians have a choice? This was destined already from hundreds of years earlier that the Jewish people would be slaves in a land that was not theirs, and they would be tortured and they would be afflicted. So why is God punishing the Egyptians for doing that if God is the one who ordered that it happen? How is that fair? Anyone have an idea?
Maybe
Go take it off.
maybe God didn't order it; He just foresaw it.
Okay, so that's one answer. There's another answer. What's blocking? We can't take that. Okay. The answer is like this. God said that it's going to happen, but God never said that the Egyptians have to be the ones to do it. Every single Egyptian who got involved didn't get involved because they felt like they were doing a big mitzvah for Hashem. They got involved because they were evil people who wanted to hurt the Jews. Same thing is, any bomb that lands on Israel, God forbid, or any Jew who is stabbed in Israel, God forbid, should stop happening as it happens. You can go with answer. I can't come right now. It's not me. It was ordained by God that this bomb should land in this place, or this person should be stabbed, or this person should be killed. So how do we take to task those who have perpetrated these evils? Because yes, God decided that this has to happen to this person, but God didn't decide that you have to be the one to do it. You meaning the terrorists. So that's the general analogy over here. And as the old famous line goes, it's not up to us to forgive the terrorists. That's God. That's on God. It's up to us to arrange the meeting. On a similar note, Rav Acha, the son of Rav Huna, said in the name of Rav Sheshes, this is what people say, that if a person fills their stomach, it's a type of sin. As it is stated, when they were fed and became full, they were sated, and their hearts were lifted, and they forgotten God. Rav Nachman said this principle is derived not from that verse in Hosea, but from this verse in Deuteronomy, and your heart will be lifted, and you'll forget the Lord. And the rabbis say that the principle is derived from another verse in Deuteronomy, and they will have eaten and been sated and fattened, and they will turn to other gods. And if you wish, say instead from another verse in Deuteronomy, and Jeshurun, which is a reference to the Jewish people, grew fat and kicked. So that was what Moses was saying. Moses was saying, why are you going to kill the Jewish people for sinning with the golden calf? If you would not have given them the opportunity, they would not have sinned. You gave them all the gold for it. You enabled them. Rabbi Shmuel Bar Nachmani said, in the name of Rabbi Yonasan, from where in the Torah is it derived that the Holy One, blessed be He, ultimately conceded to Moses that the reason for the sin of the golden calf was indeed the riches that he lavished upon Israel, as it is stated, I gave them an abundance of silver and gold, which they used for the Baal. The Gemara elaborates upon additional aspects of the sin of the golden calf. It is stated, and the Lord said to Moses, go and descend. Right, Moses was on the mountain, and God said to Moses, go and descend, for your people whom you have lifted out of the land of Egypt have been corrupted. What is the meaning of go and descend? Rabbi Elazar said, the Holy One, blessed be He, said to Moses, Moses, descend from your greatness. Isn't it only for the sake of Israel, so that you may save as an emissary, that I granted you prominence? And now that Israel has sinned, why do I need you? There is no need for an emissary. Immediately Moses' strength waned, and he was powerless to speak in defense of Israel. And once God said to Moses, leave me be, that I may destroy them. So God was telling Moses, God said, let go of me, so that I can destroy them. What do you think we can cryptically learn from this verse? And where did Moses find an opening to pray? God said, let me be, and then I will destroy them. Meaning, if you don't let me be, I won't destroy them. Moses said to himself, if God is telling me to leave him alone so that he can destroy the Jews, it must mean that if I don't leave him alone, he won't. This matter is dependent on me. Immediately Moses stood and was strengthened in prayer and asked that God have mercy on the nation of Israel and forgive them from their transgression. The Gemara says, this is comparable to a king who became angry at his son who had sinned against him and beat him, administering a severe beating. At that moment, a well-wisher of the king was sitting before him and witnessed the entire event and was afraid to say anything to the king about the excessive beating. Meanwhile, the king said to his son, if it were not for this well-wisher of mine who is sitting before me, I would have killed you. Upon hearing this, the king's friend said to himself, aha, now I see that the king does care about me, and it does matter to him that I'm here. This is clearly a sign that this matter, rescuing the son from the hands of his father, is dependent on me. Immediately he stood up and rescued the son from the king. And an additional aspect in the sin of the golden calf, together with that story, God said to Moses, "Now leave me be, that my wrath will be enraged against them, and I will consume them, and I will make of you a great nation." Right? Similar to what God did with Noah and the entire world. God said, "I'm going to kill the Jewish people, and I am going to make a new nation from you." Explaining this verse, Rabbi Abba said, with a verse not written in this manner, it would be impossible to utter it in deference to God. The phrase leave me be teaches that Moses grabbed the Holy One, blessed be he, figuratively, as a person who grabs his friend by his garment would, and said before him, "Master of the universe, I will not leave you be until you forgive and pardon them." In the same verse, God promised Moses, "I will make of you a great nation." What was Moses' response? Rabbi Elazar said, Moses said before the Holy One, blessed be he, Master of the universe, if a chair with 3 legs is unable to stand before you in your moment of wrath, all the more so a chair with 1 leg will not be able to withstand your wrath. In other words, your children, the entire Jewish congregation, are built on a chair with 3 foundational pillars, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And if Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are not enough for you to forgive their descendants, then how will I be enough of a merit for when my descendants mess up? Moreover, I will have a sense of shame before my forefathers. Abraham, Isaac will say, "Oh, look at this leader that God gave the Jewish people. He requested greatness for himself, that God should start a new nation for himself, but he didn't pray to God to have mercy on the Jewish people in their troubled time. So he was there only for the honor. He was there for the glory, and in the time of the Jewish people suffering, he didn't stand for them." The Torah continues, and Moses beseeched before the Lord, and the word over here is Vayechal. Vayechal does not appear in many other places in the Torah, and the question is, why are we employing this strange terminology? Rabbi Elazar said it teaches that Moses stood in prayer before the Holy One, blessed be he, until it made him ill from overexertion. It came, Vayechal sounds like Hecheluha. What is this in the Hebrew? Hechelahu. Choili means sick. Vayechal means it made him sick. Rava said that Moses stood in prayer until he nullified his vow, until Moses nullified God's vow, I guess. Because here it says Vayechal, and referring to vows, it is written, "He shall not nullify his word," which uses the same terminology, lo yachel, which means should not make his word profane or nothingness. And with regard to vows, we learned that he who vowed cannot nullify his own vow, but others, the court, could nullify the vow for him. So here, Moses nullified God's vow. Moses was the Beis Din, the Jewish court, to nullify God's vow about destroying the Jewish people. Shmuel said, the term Vayechal teaches that Moses gave his life for Israel, as it is stated, "And if not, erase me please from your book." And the word cholal sounds like Vayechal, and cholal is a corpse. Rava, also interpreting this verse, said in the name of Rabbi Yitzchak, the term Vayechal, well, ask mommy to take you to the bathroom. The term Vayechal teaches that he caused the divine attribute of mercy to take effect on them. Hechala. And the rabbis say that this term constitutes the essence of Moses' claim. It teaches that Moses said before the Holy One, blessed be he, Master of the universe, it is sacrilege for you to do something like this. Chulin and Vayechal also have the same root. Another interpretation of the verse, and Moses beseeched before the Lord, it was taught in a Brisa. Rabbi Elazar the Great says, this term teaches that Moses stood in prayer before the Holy One, blessed be he, until he was overcome by achilu. What is achilu? Good question. Glad you asked, because the sages in the Talmud also didn't know what that means. So they asked, what does it mean, achilu? Rabbi Elazar, who came from Eretz Yisrael, said achilu is fire in the bones. I guess some kind of a fever. However, this expression was familiar in Israel, but not in Babylonia. They asked in Babylonia, what is the disease that they call fire of the bones? In other words, he translated it for them, but they didn't know what the translation meant either. Abaya said it's a disease known in Babylonia. In Babylonia, they call it Eshta de Garme, which means fire of the bones, which is a fever. Moses continued his prayer, and Moses said, Mommy helped you? Great. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, your servants, to whom you swore in your name. What does it mean, to whom you swore in your name? Rabbi Elazar said, Moses said before the Holy One, blessed be he, master of the universe, had you sworn to them by the heavens and the earth, I would say that just as the heavens and the earth will ultimately be no more, so to your oath will also eventually be null and void. But you swore to them by your great name. Just as your name lives and stands for all eternity, so too does your oath live and stand for all eternity. In this verse, Moses continues saying, and you said to them, I will make your offspring as numerous as the stars of the heaven, and all this land of which I have spoken I will give to your offspring, and they shall inherit it forever. The Gemara clarifies a puzzling phrase in this verse. Why does Moses say, you want to show them again your bracelet? It's so pretty. Why does Moses say the land which I have spoken? Moses should have said the land which you, God, have spoken about. Because Moses is not the one who made the promise to the forefathers, it was God. Rabbi Elazar said to this point, the verse was citing the words of Moses. From this point, in all this land of which I have spoken, the verse is citing the words of the Master God. In other words, those words should be in quotation marks. Moses is repeating that which God had said to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Rabbi Shmuel Bar Nachmani said, it's all Moses' words, but what... No. Moses said before the Holy One, blessed be he, Master of the universe, those matters which you told me to go and say to Israel in my name, I went and told them in your name. I have already told Israel of God's promise to the forefathers. Now what do I say to them? I told the Jewish people that we're going out of Egypt and coming into the land of Israel, and now what am I supposed to tell them? Oh, sorry guys, change your plans, you're all dying here in the desert? That would ruin someone's whole day. The Gemara moves to a discussion of additional prayers offered by Moses. Now that we're talking, I don't think so. Now that we're spoken about Moses' prayers, we're going to speak about some more prayers that Moses said. Moses said that if God fails to bring the Jewish people into Israel, the nations of the world will say that the Lord did not have the ability to bring his people into the land which he swore to them, and that's why he killed them in the desert. The Gemara examines this verse closely. The verse should not have utilized the term Yecholet, which is an abstract feminine noun. Rather, it should have said the Lord was not able, which is a masculine verb. The game? No, we're not playing with that game. No. You see a picture of it? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look what I have. You want to play with this? Lego. You want to play with it? You want to play with that? That's a sitter. We're not going to play with that because it's not a toy. That's the mouse of my computer. I'm going to need that. You want to bring a toy? You want to bring your baby or one of the toys from the kids' room? So Rabbi Elazar said Moses phrased it that way because he said before the Holy One, blessed be He, Master of the universe. Now the nations of the world will say that God's strength weakened like a female and He is unable to rescue the nation of Israel. This is nothing against women. This is the facts of life that in general men are stronger than women. The Holy One, blessed be He, said to Moses, and did the nations of the world not already see the miracles and the mighty acts that I performed on the behalf of Israel at the Red Sea? Moses said before him, Master of the universe. They could still say that the Lord could stand up to a single king like Pharaoh and defeat him, but He is unable to stand up to the 31 kings in the land of Canaan. Rabbi Yochanan said, from where is it derived that the Holy One, blessed be He, ultimately conceded to Moses, as it is said, and the Lord said, I have forgiven according to your word. The sages of the school of Rabbi Yishmael taught, according to your word it will be, as indeed in the future the nations of the world will say this. I think we've seen that. The Jewish people, the nations of the world turning to God and saying, "Where, if the Jewish people are yours, then where are you protecting them?" The Gemara concludes, happy is the student whose teacher concedes to him as the Lord conceded to Moses. Explaining the next verse, nevertheless, as I live and the glory of the Lord fills the entire world. Rava said that Rav Yitzchak said, this teaches the Holy One, blessed be He, said to Moses, Moses, you have given me life with your words. I am happy that on account of your arguments, I will forgive Israel. Now, we're going back to the subject in which we started. Based on Moses' prayers, Rabbi Simlai taught one should always set forth praise of the Holy One, blessed be He, and then afterwards pray for his own needs. From where do we derive that one should conduct himself in this manner? From Moses, as it is written in his prayer, and I beseech the Lord at that time. And immediately afterwards it is written in his prayer, Lord God, you have begun to show your servant your greatness and your strong hand. For what God is there in the heavens or on earth who can perform deeds such as yours and your might? Here Moses began with the praise of God, and only after that it is written, please let me pass over and see the good land that is beyond the Jordan, that good hill country and the Lebanon. Only after his praise did Moses make his personal request. We're about to finish the page. The Gemara prefaces the next set of discussions with a mnemonic symbol to remember the order and to remember what happens. Deeds, charity, offering, priest, fast, shoe, iron. 7 short discussions. You need the bathroom? Oh, went to the bathroom. Congratulations, we have finished page 31b. Rabbi Elazar said, this story proves that prayer is greater than good deeds without prayer. As there was none greater in the performance of good deeds than Moses, our teacher. Nevertheless, his request was granted, albeit in a limited manner in his request to enter the land of Eretz Yisrael only through prayer, when God permitted him to climb the mountain and look out over the land. As initially it is stated, speak no more to me, juxtaposed to which is, go up to the summit of the mountain. So Moses, who had done lots and lots of mitzvahs, was answered as a result of his prayer, not as a result of his mitzvahs that he did. After comparing and contrasting prayer and good deeds, the Gemara explores another comparison. Rabbi Elazar said, a fast is greater than charity. What is the reason that a fasting is greater than charity? Because a fast is a mitzvah performed with one's body, as he afflicts himself, while charity is performed only with one's money. The Alter Rebbe, though, explains in his book of Tanya that actually money, especially today, giving charity can be even greater than a fast, because to make your money, you put in your sweat and blood. Or if you're getting your money from an inheritance or from some other way of not without working, you could have used that money to create more sweat and more blood in your body, yet you're giving it away to charity, and that is a very special mitzvah. In another comparison, Rabbi Elazar said, prayer is greater than sacrifices, as it is stated. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices to me, says the Lord? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of the fed beasts. I do not desire the blood of bulls and sheep and goats. And several verses later it is written, and when you spread forth your hands, I will hide my eyes from you. And even if you increase your prayer, I will not hear you. Your hands are full of blood. Not only Israel's sacrifices, but even their prayers would not be accepted by God in that circumstance, meaning that prayers are on a higher level even than sacrifices. Now that we spoke about that verse in Isaiah, the Gemara recites that Rabbi Yochanan said, any priest who had killed a person may not lift his hands in the priestly blessing, as it is stated, and when you spread forth your hands, I will hide my eyes from you, your hands are full of blood. Here we see that priestly blessings performed with the hands spread forth is not accepted if it was done by Kohens whose hands are full of blood. On the subject of prayer, Rabbi Elazar also said, since the day the temple was destroyed, the great gates of prayers were locked, and prayer is not accepted as it once was, as it is said in lamentation of the temple's destruction. Though I plead and call out, he shuts out my prayer. Yet despite the fact that the gates of prayer were locked with the destruction of the temple, the gates of tears were not locked. And one who cries before God may rest assured that his prayers will be answered, as it is stated, hear my prayer, Lord, and give ear to my pleading. Keep not silence at my tears. Since this prayer is a request that God should pay heed to the tears of one who is praying, he is certain that at least the gates of tears are not locked. With regard to locking the gates of prayer, the Gemara relates that Rava did not decree a fast on a cloudy day, because it is stated, you have covered yourself in a cloud through which prayer cannot pass. This verse indicates that clouds are bad omen, indicating that God is averting his face. Of course, that doesn't mean that our prayers cannot get through the clouds. Rather, the clouds are a sign from God that he is not so happy with us. And Rabbi Elazar said, since the day the temple was destroyed, an iron wall separates Israel from their Father in heaven, as it is stated to the prophet Ezekiel, instructing him to symbolize that separation. Take for yourself an iron griddle and set it as an iron wall between yourself and the city, and it will be a sign for the house of Israel. The Gemara cites other statements in praise of prayer. Rabbi Chanina said, anyone who prolongs his prayer is assured that his prayer does not return unanswered. It will surely be accepted. From where do we derive this? From Moses, our teacher, as it is stated that Moses said, so I fell down before the Lord 40 days and 40 nights that I fell down, and I prayed to the Lord. And it is written thereafter, and the Lord heard me that time as well, the Lord would not destroy you. The Gemara raises an objection, is that so? Didn't Rabbi Chia bar Abba say in the name of Rabbi Yochanan that anyone who prolongs his prayer and expects it to be answered will ultimately come to heartache because it will not be answered? As it is stated, hope deferred makes the heart sick. And what is the remedy for one afflicted with that illness? He should engage in Torah study, as it is written, but the desire fulfilled is the tree of life, and the tree of life is nothing other than Torah. As it is stated, the Torah is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and those who support it are joyous. So the Gemara answers, it's not a difficult question. This Rabbi Chia bar Abba's statement that one will suffer heartache refers to one who prolongs his prayer expecting it to be answered. And Rabbi Chanina's statement that one who prolongs his prayer is praiseworthy refers to one who prolongs his prayer without expectation. On a similar note, Rabbi Chama, the son of Rabbi Chanina, said, a person who prayed and saw that he was not answered should pray again, as it is stated, hope in the Lord, strengthen yourself, let your heart take courage, and hope in the Lord. One should turn to God with hope, and if necessary, turn to God again with hope. Okay. Connected to the emphasis on the need to bolster one's effort in prayer, the Gemara notes that the sages taught in a brisa. 4 things require bolstering, constant effort to improve. They are Torah. If we don't keep learning Torah, we forget. Good deeds. If we don't keep doing good deeds, it doesn't get easier to do them. Prayer. If we don't accustom ourselves to prayer, it gets hard to get into it. An occupation. If we don't keep ourselves on our toes, we will forget and we won't be masters of our occupation. For each of these, a biblical proof is cited. From where is it derived that Torah and good deeds require bolstering? As it is stated in the instruction to Joshua, only be strong and be extremely courageous. Observe and do all the Torah that Moses, my servant, commanded you. Do not deviate to the right or to the left, that you may succeed wherever you go. In this verse, observe refers to Torah study, and do refers to the good deeds. The apparently repetitive language is not extraneous. The Gemara derives be strong in Torah and be courageous in good deeds. From where is it derived that prayer requires bolstering? As it is said, hope in the Lord, strengthen yourself. Let your heart take courage and hope in the Lord. You have to strengthen yourself with prayer. And how do we know that your occupation requires bolstering? As it is stated, be strong, and we will be strong for the sake of our nation and for the cities of our God. All of one's labor requires a encouragement to be strong. And we will pause here for next week. Tomorrow's class is a very good one. Tomorrow's class, let me read for you the title exactly. What is more important? My own life and danger, or saving someone else's life? A discussion on moral dilemmas and courage. Am I required to put myself in danger to save someone else's life? Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow if you're able to make it. God bless you all. Wishing you a wonderful day. Thank you, Chaim. Thank you, Bela Esther. Thank you, Bela Esther. And thank you, Zalman, for joining. Wishing you all a wonderful week, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.